I think to respond to your very interesting question, I think it's about accepting pain. And I think pain has been my greatest teacher. And it's quite an unusual way to respond to a question about life, but I would say pain. And I think pain has been my greatest teacher. Our body, our brain is designed to reject pain. It protects us, like going to a gym. If you're lifting 5 kilo weights and you think there's no pain, that means you're not growing any muscle. And I realized in my life there were significant times of pain when my relationship with my father, my relationship with my wife and my marriage, the relationship with my children, and obviously times of disappointment and challenges at work. But when there's pain, I realized that I need to not run away from it, but just confront it head on and understand what is this season going to teach me about myself. I'm a man of faith, and I always believe that one of the challenges that anyone will face in life is pride. The pride of life, arrogance, and the root of corruption actually, when people understand why people take money, steal money, or want power, is they believe they deserve it. And this is a trap, is for everybody. A trap about how you make sure that you're not full of yourself, right? Because in the end of life, it's never about you. It's about something greater than you, your family, the people around you, etc. So those sort of things keep me grounded. If I realize that pain in my life is meant as a good teacher, then the question is, how do I lean into it? Now, I'm not talking about the pain that puts you in a hospital. That's quite different. But I'm talking about pain like you go to a gym. And you're building new muscles, you're building new things, and you're being humbled. I remember going to business school a few years ago, and I think something caused me to stir in my heart because this professor who made the claim that at least 90% of executives have mother or father or relationship type issues, which then have affected their leadership. He was showing photos of people in the world that suffered great pain, but then using pain as a great teacher. For example, many years ago, there was this bombing in Boston, and this lady lost her entire leg. She now teaches young girls how to do ballet, right? So it's a photo of her there on the screen. Then it came a screenshot of a man hugging a younger man. And then he said, do you know what happened here? And all of us were curious. And he said, this young man here killed the older man's son. But this older man said, I forgive you. So he went to different pictures of pain, but then from pain, how that situation turned to a hope. So at first, when I saw this, typical, I think this is marketing, because, when the professor wants to lead you down a certain line of thinking and he will say all these. And what broke my heart was seeing a photo of a young man, just a young man on the screen. He said, do you know who this is? And I went, well, we don't know. This is my son. And he was killed in a car accident. And he said, just a week before, I had a time away with my son, and I told him I loved him. Wow. So from that moment, I just felt, well, how do I define myself and my identity? Is it I'm a father? Am I a professional? In this case, he was a professor. Who are you? And actually, we're just a human trying to find our way in this earth and be valuable to the people around us, so that every interaction we have, we actually lift people up to have some form of hope. So if you ask me in one line or one sentence or one word, what defines me is hope. I'm hoping for something. And I'll leave you with this, and I've been through dozens of leadership courses where they say, oh, how do I teach you to be a good leader and all that. But one thing that most coaching courses and leadership courses teach you now is something they leave blank, which is, what is your belief? So they said, a good leader thinks of yourself, fine. Then a better leader thinks of others, fine. And then suddenly there's this top of the pyramid that they cannot answer. They put it there, a higher calling. So as a man of faith, I know what that means for me. I know what the hope is. But for a lot of others out there, it's time for us to ask the question, who made us? Who formed the world? Why are we here today? And asking that question seriously, because leaders who can operate at that top are usually one of the best or wisest leaders that we could possibly have. If you're younger, get yourself mentorship. Learn from somebody else's experience. Sometimes there's some things you don't need to experience yourself. That's called wisdom, rather than going through the same motion of pain. The second thing is that if you're in a season of pain, don't run away from it. The reason is, once we understand what the pain is, we can then, in our minds, rationally decide, is this pain for me to grow muscle, or it's the pain I need to stop because it's going to send me to a hospital? And if it's about muscle, then get into it. And number three, as I mentioned before, if you're a leader in the workplace and you're a parent and you don't know what your higher calling is, go find out. You know, as I say, I'm a man of faith. I put my faith in a higher being, and that's really helped me, because there are many things in our life I don't need to understand. I just need to have faith. So those are the three things I would advise somebody at this point.